Well, welcome, boys and girls, and moms and dads, to another episode of Santa's Gone Fishing. Well, today I hope to get quite a few fish in the boat for you. In the meantime, grab your popcorn, and because we're getting ready to read a lovely little story. And today we'll be reading a lovely little story called Planting the Seed by Kaylee Almanza. One rainy spring day, Kristen was gazing out of the window at her Nana's house when she suddenly heard her stomach growl. I know just what to get, Kristen exclaimed. She jumped up from her seat and went into the kitchen. She opened the refrigerator and grabbed a glass jar full of pickles. Now, these weren't just any ordinary pickles. These were the greenest, crunchiest, most delicious pickles Kristen has ever had. She had tried so many different pickles from the store, but none ever came close to being as delicious as her Nana's pickles. She ate one pickle, then two pickles, then three pickles, then, oh no, no more pickle. Nana, do we have any more jars of pickles in your pantry? Kristen yelled while swinging open the pantry door. Nana appeared a few seconds later and scanned the upper shelves of the pantry. No, Kristen, I think that was the last jar of pickles from last year's crop, Nana said. She began to wash the empty jar. Deflated, Kristen let out a long sigh. Oh, I wish I'd eaten those slower so I could have enjoyed them longer. I'll never find pickles as juicy as those. After Nana placed the jar on a yellow dish towel, she turned toward Kristen. Now, Kristen, Nana said, if you want more of those pickles, you can come over next weekend and help me grow them. It's time to plant my spring garden, and I could sure use some extra help. You can even have a sleepover here. Kristen's face lit up with excitement as she quickly agreed to assist. The following weekend, Kristen went back over to her Nana's house, ready to work. She had on her old T-ball hat, some really neat pink and green gardening gloves, and last year's school sneakers. Her grandpa had already tilled the ground area. Tilling is when you turn over the soil. It helps break up old, crusty dirt and loosens it up before planting. Kristen and Nana worked in the garden forever. Really, it only had been about 30 minutes, but it felt like a really, really long time. Kristen even had sweat forming on her forehead. Nana showed Kristen how to measure the distance seeds should be placed. She learned that 4 to 6 cucumber seeds need to be planted in 1 inch deep and 12 to 18 inches apart. Who knew you could use a ruler outside of school? After the cucumbers, Kristen went on to help plant rows and rows of different vegetables. Onions, carrots, and squash seed packets were torn open and dropped according to Nana's directions. Lettuce, okra, turnips, and corn went into the ground too. Kristen and her Nana even made little signs that stuck into the ground. Nana labeled what each vegetable was on the sign so she could remember what she planted and where it was planted. After that, Nana handed Kristen the water hose. She turned on the shower setting, and Kristen gave the garden a nice drink of water. The trash was picked up. Then gloves were taken off. Kristen and her Nana sat down on rocking chairs and took in the sights of their garden project. It was a beautiful view to see the little rows of wet dirt, with its vegetable signs poking out at the ends. Feeling accomplished, Kristen smiled. She worked hard today and was ready to pick the cucumbers to make pickles with tomorrow. The next day, Kristen awoke to the aroma of bacon and eggs in the air. It smelled good, but Kristen knew what she wanted for breakfast. She raced down the stairs and out the back door to the garden, expecting to see giant vegetables growing everywhere. She stopped and frowned. There are no vegetables at all. Puzzled, she marched back into the house and straight to Nana. "Nana, where are all the vegetables at? Did you pick it already?" she inquired. A warm smile formed on Nana's face, and it looked like she was trying not to let out a laugh. "Kristen, you must be patient. Just like yourself, you didn't grow up overnight. It takes time, food, sun, and water to make plants grow. Just be patient." Kristen did not want to be patient. She settled for bacon and eggs for breakfast. After breakfast, she helped re-water the garden before her journey home. Now Kristen popped by her Nana's house for the next several weeks. Each time, she would check the garden to discover more and more growth. At first, it started with little green specks sticking out here and there. As more weeks passed, the plants grew taller. Some grew wider and started to branch out. She could even see some start budding tiny little vegetables. Nana kept reminding her to water each day. She even taught Kristen how to pull weeds out so it could help the plants grow better. After weeks of waiting, finally the day arrived when Nana told Kristen that she could pick some of the vegetables. Kristen grabbed a 5-gallon bucket and hurried to the garden. While there were still a lot of vegetables growing, she already spied several giant ones. She began to pick cucumbers off its vine, choosing the biggest and greenest cucumbers that she could find. She picked and pulled vegetables until she had her entire bucket filled. Worn out, but on a mission, Kristen dragged the bucket inside. Her Nana helped her wash all the dirt off of the vegetables and set it aside to dry. "Now is it time to eat the pickles?" Kristen asked. Nana smiled that warm, sweet smile again and shook her head. "No, it's not time to eat just yet. But you can help me make the pickles," she said. So Nana chopped the cucumbers and she placed them in the glass canning jar. She put a pan on the stove and started to mix an assortment of ingredients together. She added water, vinegar, dill, salt, pepper, and other spices that Kristen had never heard of. Excitement formed in Kristen's eyes as she watched her Nana carefully pour the mixture into each of the glass jars. Her tongue watered as she imagined biting into that juicy green pickle. Nana and Kristen began to place the lids on the jars and twist each jar shut. As Kristen got to her last jar, she asked her Nana, "Can I eat the pickles now?" Nana replied, "Not yet, Kristen. You have to be a little more patient. The mixture has to soak into the cucumber to give it that pickle flavor." Kristen stared at her Nana. That is not what she expected to hear. With a weak smile, Kristen said, "Okay," and went off to play with her dolls and dollhouse. Time went by and Kristen forgot about the pickles. She ate dinner, took her bath, and went to bed. The next day, the family attended church. After service, everyone went to Nana's house for Sunday lunch. Hamburgers and French fries were on the menu. Suddenly, Kristen remembered the pickles. "Can we have the pickles now, Nana, please?" Kristen begged. With that sweet smile Nana always has, she said, "Why, yes, Kristen, you may. It should be ready now." Kristen raced to the refrigerator, twisted the jar lid off, and grabbed a pickle speedy fast. As Kristen took her last bite, her taste buds did a happy dance. The pickle was green, crunchy, and delicious, just like the last one she had several weeks ago. Kristen sat back and smiled up at her Nana. "You make the best pickles, Nana,"